Good morning, everybody, and thanks for joining us. Today we launched the CCN Spotlight show, shining a light on some of the incredible people all over the world, including some right here in the Southern California and San Gabriel Valley communities. We start with a national organization that helps severely and other wounded veterans gain back some of their mobility and their functionality in the society. We start with Command Sergeant Major Donald McAlister, who's one of the heroes who served our country so well and continues to serve as he works with the Independence Fund. So we want to welcome him and talk a little bit about the organization and about his background and about what our troops and our country are getting and the incredible people that serve us. So welcome and good morning.
Thank you for having me, Derrick.
Yeah, it's a great privilege, and thank you for serving our country. So tell us a little bit about why you joined the military.
Well, I joined the military, I was a little kid from Southeast Louisiana, and to tell you the truth, I saw Rambo when I was like 10 years old, and I thought everybody in the Army looked like that. But no, I had a bunch of my uncles, and my grandpa had served. I had 3 uncles that were in Vietnam, and they were like heroes to me. My dad was a little too young for Vietnam, and I just always said that I just always wanted to serve. And then I joined the military, and I joined the Army in 1992, not knowing what I was going to do, thinking I was going to do like most people and get out after 4 years.
Right.
And, but I joined the military. I joined the Army. I went to airborne school. I was in my first duty assignment. I was in the Honor Guard.
Okay.
Up in Washington, D.C. They selected me out of airborne school to go do that. Then I went to the 25th Infantry Division in Hawaii, and while there, I was planning on getting out of the military, and then September 11th happened. And when September 11th happened, I told my wife, I was like, I can't get out.
Well, it's an incredible thing because you saw Rambo, and I went into the Marine Corps when I was 17 years old, and then went into a different theater, and that's why I'm so happy that you're here. We'll talk about that, because I went in at a time in a war that wasn't so popular, and even today a lot of the veterans that served in Vietnam are ashamed to get help and can't get help, or who are suffering. So I'm glad you include those. But tell us this. You go into the military because you're a Command Sergeant Major. Share a little bit about what that means.
Well, it's, Command Sergeant Major is the pinnacle of the enlisted man's career. I mean, when you look at, being an enlisted soldier, especially when you first come in the Army, you see those Command Sergeant Majors, and they're like the old guy that everybody's scared of, but you're like, that guy, there's no telling what he's done. But it's, to be a Command Sergeant Major is like one of the biggest honors that can be bestowed upon an enlisted guy. And it's basically the big military, the Army, whether it's Marine Corps, whatever, telling you, hey, we're trusting you to be a commander's teammate and give him advice daily, because your job is you're the advisor for the commander. For
exactly. And I happen to know that, and as somebody who revered Sergeant Major, I know that the officers that serve with you in many ways look to you for that lead because of the experience. So it's an incredible accomplishment, and congratulations. And you're hardly the old guy that achieved that rank, so that's incredible. So tell us a little bit, what theaters have you actually served in?
I've been in Iraq and Afghanistan both.
Okay.
I was in Iraq in the initial push in 2003, and then I went back again in December of 2004, and then I was in Afghanistan 2007-8, Afghanistan 2009-10, and then Afghanistan 13-14.
Incredible.
Yes, sir.
And you, I understand, also sustained injuries along the way as well.
Yes, sir. In OIF-1, in the initial push in Iraq, about 10 months into it, I was a young platoon sergeant. I took over a 42-man airborne infantry platoon. I was in 82nd Airborne Division, and on a routine patrol leaving Al-Dora Market in Baghdad, my vehicle was hit with an IED before we really even knew what IEDs were.
Explain that.
That's an improvised explosive device that basically it's anything that they can get their hands on that they can turn into an explosive and turn into a projectile or whatever to it's an easy win for them to actually, you know, hit a target. My vehicle was hit with it was actually 5 artillery rounds. They were daisy chained underneath the road, and my interpreter, his name was Fred. He was killed. One of my other guys was severely wounded like myself, and we were both evacuated that day to Landstuhl, and then I was evacuated to Walter Reed. Had sustained shrapnel injuries everywhere. I had a piece of shrapnel about a softball size, went up into my hip. I still have a piece of shrapnel in my eyeball, and I have, you know, shrapnel everywhere.
Yeah, it's because sometimes those types of injuries, it's more dangerous to remove it than it is
Yes,
to leave it there.
Yes, sir.
That's an incredible sacrifice for our country. So I guess you're what we really call the real deal. And the idea of when you see a sergeant major, when they're in dress uniform, you know the sergeant major because they have a foot of what we call fruit salad with all the different campaigns that you've been involved in.
Yeah.
Thank you so very much for the kind of service that you've done. And overall, you have been in the military how long?
Actually, it was exactly 24 years and 7 months that I retired.
24 years and 7 months, and that's an incredible. When you went in, and I went in for a couple of years thinking I would stay in for the rest of my life, and a couple of years in Vietnam, and I was done. So thank you for doing the work. Coming up, how CSM McAlister connected with the Independence Fund and the work they do helping severely wounded troops live a new life at home.